Imagine a world without paper, where all our thoughts, ideas, and histories are lost in the sands of time. This was the world before the discovery of Egyptian papyrus. The birthplace of papyrus was the Nile Delta, a region of lush vegetation and fertile soil in Egypt. The plant, Cyperus papyrus, thrived in this environment, growing tall and sturdy. But it wasn't until around the 4th millennium BC when the true potential of this plant was discovered. In a world without any form of paper, communication was limited, and preserving knowledge was a Herculean task. The Egyptians, ever innovative, saw the papyrus plant as an opportunity to change that. They discovered that by slicing the papyrus stem into thin, flat strips, they could weave them together and after drying create a smooth and durable surface. This was the birth of papyrus, the world's first paper. This discovery was a breakthrough in communication. For the first time in human history, information could be recorded, preserved, and shared across generations and geographies. It was a monumental leap forward, propelling the development of complex societies. Papyrus allowed for the creation of administrative records, legal documents, religious texts, and literature. It was a tool that enabled the Egyptians to build a civilization that we still marvel at today. But this wasn't just a breakthrough for the Egyptians. The knowledge of papyrus making spread across the Mediterranean, reaching Greece, Rome, and beyond. It became a significant trade commodity and the preferred writing material of the ancient world for over 1,000 years. The discovery of papyrus was a turning point in human history. It transformed how we communicate, how we preserve our past, and how we share our knowledge. It was a catalyst for societal development and a testament to human ingenuity. Without the discovery of papyrus, the legacy of ancient Egyptian civilization might have been lost to the sands of time. Creating a sheet of papyrus was a craft that required skill and precision, a testament to the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians. The process began with the harvesting of the papyrus plant, a tall reed-like plant that flourished along the banks of the Nile River. The stalks of these plants were harvested and then carefully peeled away to reveal the pith, a soft spongy material that ran down the center of the stalk. This pith was then sliced into thin, long strips, each one no wider than the breadth of a finger. These strips were then soaked in water for a period of time, often several days, to soften them and make them pliable. Once they were suitably softened, the real craftsmanship began. The strips were arranged in 2 layers, one horizontal and one vertical, their edges slightly overlapping. This cross-hatching of strips was the key to the papyrus's strength and durability. At this point, the artisans would apply pressure to the layers, pressing them together to form a single sheet. This was not a simple matter of just pressing down with one's hands. The process required a delicate balance of force and gentleness, as too much pressure could tear the delicate strips while too little would not bind them together properly. The sheets were then left to dry under the hot Egyptian sun, the heat causing the wet strips to bond together. Once dry, the sheets were polished to a smooth finish, often with a piece of ivory or a smooth shell. The process of making papyrus was a closely guarded secret of the ancient Egyptians. It was a craft handed down from generation to generation, each new generation learning from the masters who had honed their skills over a lifetime. Each sheet of papyrus was a work of art, meticulously crafted by the hands of skilled artisans. The end result was a durable, flexible material that could be rolled, folded, or cut into various sizes, ready to be used for everything from official documents to personal letters. The creation of papyrus was not just a process, but a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the ancient Egyptians. Papyrus was not just a medium for writing, it was a revolutionary tool that transformed ancient Egyptian society. Now, we delve into the realm of its uses and influence. Papyrus served as a canvas for the ancient Egyptians, recording their history, thoughts, and ideas for future generations. The primary use of papyrus was record-keeping. From administrative documents to legal contracts, papyrus was the go-to material for the scribes of ancient Egypt. It was in this role that papyrus became instrumental in the functioning of the pharaonic administration. Imagine the bustling offices of ancient Egypt filled with scribes diligently recording tax collections, census data, and other state affairs on sheets of papyrus. But it wasn't all business. Papyrus was the preferred medium for personal correspondence as well. Love letters, personal notes, and even complaints were inscribed on papyrus sheets. Imagine receiving a handwritten letter from a loved one, inked on a sheet of papyrus. It was the ancient equivalent of today's text messages and emails. A significant part of the Egyptian culture was their religion, and papyrus played a pivotal role here too. Religious texts, hymns, and prayers were carefully transcribed on papyrus scrolls, often adorned with beautiful illustrations. These sacred texts were then stored in temple libraries, serving as a repository of religious knowledge. Not to forget, papyrus was also the canvas for literature. The ancient Egyptians had a rich tradition of storytelling, and many of these stories were committed to papyrus. From tales of gods and heroes to instructional texts and poetry, the literature of ancient Egypt was largely preserved on papyrus. In the field of medicine, papyrus was used to record medical knowledge. The famed Ebers Papyrus, for instance, contains hundreds of medical prescriptions and remedies, showcasing the advanced medical understanding of the ancient Egyptians. The papyrus was more than just paper, it was the lifeblood of communication and knowledge in ancient Egypt. Its diverse applications underpin the functioning of society, and its influence can still be felt today. Papyrus was without a doubt a revolutionary tool that shaped the course of Egyptian history. The legacy of papyrus extends far beyond the borders of ancient Egypt, influencing the course of human history. This humble reed, once growing along the banks of the Nile, became a canvas for the thoughts, dreams, and discoveries of an ancient civilization. But the story doesn't end there. The knowledge of papyrus making, a closely guarded secret of the ancient Egyptians, eventually found its way to other cultures. The Greeks and Romans, eager to record their own stories, adopted this remarkable material. Papyrus became the precursor of paper as we know it today, setting the stage for the written word's global dominance. This ancient technology was passed down through generations, across continents, and through the annals of time. From the scribes of antiquity to the digital scribes of today, the spirit of papyrus lives on in every letter written, every document created, and every story told. From the sands of ancient Egypt to the modern world, the legacy of papyrus continues to shape our world.